Greetings Samurai, Fayot here, and in this short guide I will be covering the basics of combat in Neo. The game just came out, so some of the footage you'll be seeing is taken from the last chance beta demo that came out about half a month ago. I will be explaining mainly how you can survive the various initial enemies and how you can have the upper hand in your first engagements. I will be coming back later on with a more detailed guide about advanced techniques and how to utilize them. So without further ado, let's move on with the guide. A very important discipline of initiation involves getting the upper hand on unsuspecting enemies. It's very important to try and always surprise them from an angle that suits your approach and will leave them vulnerable after your initial hit. So jumping on them from higher ledges or moving up behind them is always a good strategy. There are specific ways to make your life easier on that regard, like purchasing the sneak attack ninja skill as early as possible. This will allow you to perform a specific animation when getting behind the enemy undetecting and cause massive damage to your enemies. Of course, you will not always be able to finish an enemy off by getting the drop on them. Sometimes enemies will be able to sustain lots of damage and take loads of punishment before they fall to your blows. In these cases, what you should be considerate of and always pay attention to is your keybar. After you complete your combos, you should always hit the stance button on the right moment as the little pixies seem to gather around you, the blue dots, so you will be recovering as much of the red key on your green bar as possible. A perfect input will increase the amount at maximum efficiency, whilst being too fast will yield less, and being too slow will actually not help with the restoration of your key. Keep in mind that enemies have key bars as well, and depleting those will leave them in a vulnerable state. For smaller enemies, it will be a good idea to follow up with a heavy attack at close quarters to perform a coup de grace, and for bigger ones you can perform whole combos on them without fear of retaliation. As you can see here, this mini-boss is able to take loads of damage, but as long as I manage my key and attack when I'm able, I will be able to take it down easily. Last but not least, always remember to use your living weapon. When the icon of your guardian on the upper left flashes, you can press triangle and circle to transform your weapon into the embodiment of your guardian spirit. The bar that will appear on top of your health and key bars will represent both the time remaining on your living weapon and your actual durability, since it adds invulnerability to your health state. As soon as it's gone, you will be reverting back to your original weapon and will have to recharge it before it can be used again. So here they are, my tips for staying alive during the initial phases of the game. There are lots of tools that can be utilized even from earlier on, like the Onryo magic and the ninjutsu skills to make your life easier by debilitating enemies and buffing yourself, but we will go into those in greater detail as we progress with the video, guys. I loved the game since the alpha. I must say I was very surprised that Team Ninja managed to create something like this, since they really haven't given us a really great game since the initial Ninja Gaiden. Just my thoughts. So having this now, after Miyazaki said that you will not be making any more Souls or Bloodborne games, is a very, very positive development. Of course, I intend to play the hell out of the game and will try to cover as much about it as I possibly can. I wanted to get this out there to you to help you with your initial experience, because, well, as I struggled, I suppose many of you will be struggling as well. So you can take these notes to heart and use them to the best of your abilities to manage and progress. Of course, remember that this is a level-based action RPG, so developing your character and investing some time in actual leveling and gear gathering can actually make all the difference in the world. A little bit of damage by applying a buff, or a little bit of time to regroup and be able to heal, can make a huge difference, especially in boss encounters. I will be posting a guide on how to get Choco Caps to be able to co-op with other people in the description as well. So get out there, good luck fighting against the enemy armies and the demons that sprawl the cities and fields of Neo. I will be assisting you in any way I can by creating more content and helping you out on the field if you can get me as a visitor. So until next time, be well, stay frosty, and always strive for perfection. Subscribe, like and share if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.